Isn't it, you know, like what some people have been saying, that these two, and especially Equatorial Guinea, really, governments basically that are insensitive, especially Equatorial Guinea?
Well, I understand that. I remember when I was in Gabon, I asked organizers of the tournament, they call them COCAN, about how they intend to fill the stadium, especially in Libreville and in Franceville, if the national team fails to qualify for the final round. And they were saying that they had lots of people who will be moving from Equatorial Guinea because they are next door neighbors. They will do that. But I said, every country that has hosted the Nations Cup in Africa finds a way to fill the stadium if the people can't afford it. And more often than not, most people, the average African, cannot afford some of the ticket prices. Now, I remember in Ghana, they filled it up with the stadium with some school children. In Egypt, they allowed some security agencies to go in just for the visual purpose. Because if FIFA sees that you cannot fill your stadium, they will not award you any of the FIFA championship that will bring so much money to your country.
But if in fact you know that you cannot feed your stadiums, then what in fact is the motivation for holding the title?
Well, it's national pride. I remember when I went to see the match between Gabon and Brazil, the stadium was filled to capacity. And I asked them, how were they able to afford this? Because it was not on the downside. And they were telling me that people saved just to go see the match. Sometimes it's quite challenging, but as you are aware, Gabon invested about $500 million into this. They are expecting more tourism. They are expecting more investors to come and look at the country with the exposure of the African Nations Cup. And the last time I was there, they seemed to be generating some quite business activity. You had a lot of construction work going on in that country, and some of the ministers were telling me these were some of the things we're doing as emerging Gabon, to sell Gabon to the international world. So hosting the African Nations Cup brings a special spotlight to that country, not only to display their footballing skills, but also to do business. So that is one of the main reasons why some of these countries host this tournament, invest a lot of money into it, because they know that the dividend and the investments that it will get will be substantial, apart from the pride of hosting the Africa's penultimate tournament.
In fairness to Gabon, of course, which is the co-host of the tournament with Equatorial Guinea, there is some evidence to suggest that the new government under the young Ali Bongo is obviously making a significant difference in terms of how, for example, it even deals with service delivery in terms of healthcare and what have you of their people, because you recall I had an interview with him at Blair House sometime last year, and it was quite an interview. And you've been there a couple of times. You've been able to see with your eyes, and there is some progress. But what about Equatorial Guinea and Theodore Nguema Obiang? What about Equatorial Guinea, really? I mean, is there any progress? Because there was the last African Union, last year there was the African Union Summit, right, in Malabo, and of course, you know the rest of the story. Well,
I spoke to one of the ambassadors the last time the Equatorial Guinean president was here, and I was specifically asking him about the accusations of human rights and the fact that most people are rich in the political class, but then the rest of the people seem not to be doing too well. And he was emphatic by saying they've put in measures to ensure that the national resources are distributed equally. We are yet to see if that will translate into pragmatic steps that would that the people will feel in their pockets. Because at the moment, it doesn't.
Of course, that we had an opportunity to interview President Theodore Obiang Nguema last year at the Sarvan Foundation Awards, but the rest, you know the rest.
I do. And I specifically asked the ambassador what they are doing about the poor in the society. because reports showed that some of them have turned to alcoholism and all that, and it's affecting them. But they seem to be saying that they're putting in measures to resolve those issues.
Well, time